close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Daniel Bailey TV. Welcome to another show. Breaking Arsenal news. Well, I say breaking. It's broke about a couple of hours ago now that Jurrien Timber is out for the season. Listen, I'm going to get into talking about that. And I'm going to give my thoughts and give my opinions on that. So do smash the like button. Do smash the subscribe button. Would really appreciate it. Yeah, listen, I took a couple of days off. It's been a madness couple of days, actually. Apologies, I didn't do any content for the opening game of the season. Like I say, things have been a bit busy, but back on the content duty. And yeah, listen, Jurrien Timber is out for the season. And I've got to be honest, guys, this is bad for everybody. There's no point in dressing it up any other way. This is bad for the club. This is bad for him, most importantly. It's just a horrible situation to be in. Look, I listened to the game on Saturday, even though I was at a fan barbecue. I managed to catch bits of the game, and the injury was a nasty injury. And unfortunately, these happen, albeit it happens all too frequently to Arsenal and to Arsenal players. But these things happen, don't they? So these kind of injuries are always a possibility, and sadly, it's happened to Jurrien Timber. What does this mean for the club? What does this mean for him? Obviously, he's got a long he's got a long spell out on sidelines to rehabilitate. The club put out a statement earlier today saying that they had been liaising with consultants, and Jurrien Timber set to have an operation, and he's set to have a spell on the sideline due to his recovery. I think this is season. I don't see him coming back and playing any part of the season. When you think about it, they're saying that he possibly may come back in March, April time. But do you honestly think that even if he was to come back March, April time at the business end of the season, when, if all goes to plan, we'll be going for the title, we'll be going for the Champions League, we'll be in the FA Cup, hopefully. Are you going to want to risk him after a long spell on the sidelines? Are you going to want to risk him? ACLs are very difficult to come back from. They take a lot longer than people think to come back from ACLs. He's going to be, there could be potential relapses. So I think this is him done for the season. And it's a shame because he's just new to the club. It's bad enough for a established Arsenal player, especially when they've been around the club for a long period of time, to deal with this kind of injury. But for him to come straight into the club, and he looked really good in pre-season, and then he looked really good on Saturday, and then to pick up this kind of injury, and especially when he's been welcomed into the club, especially when we've got this feel-good factor going on around the club at the moment. We've got this togetherness at Arsenal, and then he's going to have to miss a majority of that on the sidelines. keep in mind as well that he's going to still be adapting to living in a new country. He still has to adapt to London life, and that's not easy in itself, to be fair. So yeah, this is a bad situation, guys. Bad situation for everybody. Most importantly, Jurrien Timber. And it's interesting to see what the club will do now. I actually think the club will get a loan player in on loan. I don't think they will go out and shell out a shed load of money on a new inverted fullback. There's tentative links to Cucurella. I'm not entirely sure whether I take Cucurella. He hasn't exactly been pulling up trees at Chelsea. I know a lot of players haven't been pulling up trees at Chelsea. Personally, I would probably try and go and get Cancelo. He wants out of Man City. You know, they don't really want him there. I would probably try and get Cancelo, but the kind of money that Man City are going to want for him, coupled with the fact that we are their direct rivals at this current moment in time. So are they going to want to let him go to a direct rival? But yeah, I'm not big on the whole Cucurella thing. It's just a bad situation, guys, for the club to find themselves in, isn't it? Really, with Jurrien Timber. I don't think the club will panic. It's not the club's style to panic in situations like this, is it? Really, it's not really their. It's not really their style to go gun ho. You know, we've seen them take their time over things, and I think they'll take their time with this as well. Even with this, I don't think they'll deviate from the transfer strategy. And if I'm being honest, we're quite well stocked in the defense at the moment. Okay, yes, we look at guys like Kieran Tierney, who could be potentially on his way out, who doesn't really suit the style of play that Arteta wants to play. We've got Zinchenko, who's coming back. Yeah, I don't really know what the club will do here, guys. Like, I really don't. I think it's going to be a very difficult one to predict. It would be so easy to say, listen, let's just go and buy somebody. But I'm not a favor. I'm not in favor of panic buying. And I kind of feel that if we were to go and rush in now and get a player, you know, to buy a player to fill in the gap for Jurrien Timber, I kind of feel like it'd be a bit of a panic buy. And we know that the club doesn't do panic buying. We know that the club like to take their time over situations like this, don't they? So I don't think they will panic. I honestly don't think they will panic. Listen, guys, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel or watching this on Twitter or X, as it's now called, can't get over that, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Would really appreciate it. Let's read a few of your comments. 16 of you have Mr. B says, turns out Timber isn't so solid after all. Yeah, I think it's just a freak accident. It's just a freak thing that's happened. Big up Steve. Big up Joanne as well in the chat. Timber was the best player in the Community Shield. I had no idea he's out for the season until I seen your title. Yeah, Timber's out for the season. ACL, nasty injury. Ah, dear. Always happens to Arsenal, though, doesn't it? And I will say this as well. This is why I'm not too bothered about Gary O'Driscoll leaving the club to go to Man United. I know a lot of people on social media are really up in arms about Gary O'Driscoll leaving the club, but I'm not really bothered, to be fair. He's overseen some horrific injuries. And I will say this as well. Let me be clear on this. whoever sanctioned, because he was injured before he came out for the second half. So whoever said that he should continue, I think heads need to roll there, because that was a bad decision to make. They should have hooked him, however bad however bad the injury was, or however much he wanted to play. They should have hooked him, and we might be in a different situation. But it's just mad, guys. It's mad. Big up Mike. He said, should have Timber come out for the second half? No, this is what I'm saying to you, Mike. This is what I'm saying to everybody. The medical team, the medical personnel who made that decision to let him come out for the second half should be reprimanded, because obviously now that it's ruined Timber's season. Pulling him before half time or during half time might have saved his season, but listen, we are where we are. We can't go back. It's all about looking forward now, and it's all about, let's see what the club do. Let's have a look. Let's read some of these chats. Steve says it's good seeing your live videos again. Yeah, I'm back now. Like I say, I'm back doing live content. Although saying that, I'll be doing the preview tomorrow, because I've got my daughter for the weekend this weekend, so I'll be dropping my preview tomorrow. There will be no content over the weekend, because I've got my daughter, but I may, if I'm not too exhausted, I may do a watch along for the Crystal Palace Arsenal game. But that depends on whether I'm tired after having my daughter. Let me tell you, having 8-year-old children, it's tiring. Having an 8-year-old daughter is tiring. Isn't your training pitches just too hard? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's to do with the training pitches being too hard, but there's definitely something going on. There's definitely something going on with the fact that we keep getting so many injuries. Listen, guys, hit the like button, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button. Would really, really appreciate it. So yes, smash that like button. Let's grow the channel. And yeah, keep those comments coming in. Listen, let's move on from Timber. I feel like we've exercised this conversation a little bit. Let's dig into some other news, even though I've not put it in the video title. Obviously, Timber was the main talking point, but let's look at some other news while I'm on. Gabriel being linked to Saudi Arabia. I think this will be a bad move for Gabriel, and I think obviously if he goes, it's purely money orientated, and I think the club should be doing everything in their power to be keeping Gabriel. Obviously a bid's not come in yet. This is all speculation, the rumor mill on social media. But yeah, I would not be selling Gabriel. I've tried over the last couple of days to think about this rationally, and unless Arsenal get a ridiculous offer, and when I say a ridiculous offer, I'm talking 60 to 80 million. Like if we got anywhere between that for Gabriel, I just can't justify or make any justification for Arsenal sanctioning this deal. I you look at him with his partnership with Saliba, you look at him with the way that he's settled in. He's a threat at both ends. I know he's got the odd mistake in him, but who hasn't? You know, all players have mistakes in them. It's just part and parcel of football. I can't make any justification for Arsenal selling Gabriel, and I would personally be keeping Gabriel at all costs. I know that some people have been have been reading too much into Gabriel not starting at the weekend, being left out of the starting lineup. I think that was injury basis, but you know, I think people have just put 2 and 2 together and come up with about 6. But yeah, I can't make any justification for selling Gabriel. It'd be absolute suicide for the club to be selling Gabriel. And it's not like he's aging. He's a young player. Um, he's not like aging. He's at a decent age, and you know what? This is kind of worrying from a wider perspective, because you've got the Saudis that are just prepared to throw money at everything and practically distort the transfer market. And I think something's got to be done about this, because at the risk of sounding jealous, it's the Saudis are going to ruin football. And that's not me being racist or anything like that. Before anybody clips that and puts it out there, it's setting a wrong, it's setting a bad example for the rest of football. Also, as well, it's enabling dickheads like Chelsea to have a get out of jail free card for the fuck up signings that they make. Zinchenko not left back anyway, says. But yeah, I can't see any reason for selling Gabriel, which is a bit mad. It's absolutely mad. Listen, guys, smash the like button if you haven't done so already. Please smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Been going for nearly 20 minutes now, so listen, I'm just going to open the floor up. There's not really an awful lot of other pieces of Arsenal news to break, really. It was mainly the Timber, and then obviously the Gabriel one. But yeah, there's not an awful lot going on there, so I'm going to open the floor up, take a couple of questions, and then I'm going to wrap this stream up. But yeah, get your questions in. Hit the like button. That's so important. Like, honestly, I can't stress that enough. It really does help the channel grow. I'm gonna start setting like targets on these videos, because certainly even on the pre-records, I'm gonna start setting like targets, because I'm getting like 50, 60 views and only 5 likes. Like, come on, the likes are so crucial. But yeah, please hit the like. If you are new to the channel, smash that like button. It only takes a second. Let's have a Klopp and Liverpool finish. Mo Salah going to Saudi. I don't necessarily think Klopp and Liverpool are finished. I just think they're going for a massive rebuild. Mr. B says, if you want any more of our players, Make sure you play the full price, not a loan deal. Hey, listen, January, we're coming for Ivan Toney. We're coming for Ivan Toney. And then that's your two best players gone. Dan, the Saudis are only doing what English Premier League teams have been doing with European clubs for years. Yeah, but are they really? Because they're just throwing lots of money at it. And the Saudi Pro League, I will say this as well, right? Yeah. Players will go to the Saudi Pro League, but they'll realize that it's not, yes, they're going to get loads and loads of money, but from a competing in the World Cup, competing in, like the FA Cup, that you can't buy football heritage. And however much they throw money to get players over there, they're never going to be the best and biggest league in the world. Who cares about two teams that no one's ever heard of fighting out in the desert just because they've got a few star names, like Neymar and Ronaldo? And sure, they're going to pull in those, those their fans. Neymar's got fans, Mbappe's got fans, Ronaldo's got fans. Sure, they're going to pull in those kinds of people, but when those players disappear, do you think those fans are going to stay watching the Saudi Pro League? Like, it's not the best will in the world. It's never going to be Man United, never going to be Liverpool, never going to be Arsenal. These things matter. Do you know what I mean? Who's going to wake up and watch? Let's go. You know what? Let's go over and watch a Saudi Pro League game. It's going to work in the short term, and people are going to jump on the bandwagon, and sure, it's going to distort the market for a bit, but it's not going to replace the Premier League. It's never going to get as big as the Premier League. No one's going to who cares? Like, can I ask everyone in this chat right now, and I just want a yes or no answer. How many of you lot are going to go, right, I'm raving to watch the Saudi Pro League. Let's turn it on. Let's really watch this league. Is anybody really going to do that? Give me your answer. Put it in the chat. Yes or no. Are you going to watch the Saudi Pro League? Mr. B says, who are you going to sign as a replacement for Timber? Do you want who do you want as another striker? Also, do you want another striker? Yeah, I told you we're coming for Ivan Toney, and as a replacement for Timber, ideally I'd take Cancelo. Yes, another like. It's free to hit the like button, so please, everybody, smash the like button. Steve says no to the Saudi Pro League. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who's going to sit there and watch the Saudi Pro League? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, the Saudis, if I was the Saudis, right? Yeah. Instead of buying all these players, right? Instead of buying all these world-class players, why don't they try and develop their infrastructure and make superstars of themselves? Like, make superstars themselves. Why don't they do that? Like English League does it, Spanish League does it. Why don't they just do that? And they're saying that, like, in 2 years, their league's going to be the best league. Like, come on, guys. Is it really? Listen, guys, 8 of you in the chat. Everybody, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, please come over and subscribe. I keep calling it Twitter. It's X now, isn't it? Yeah, smash that like button, guys. Subscribe to Daniel Bailey TV. Would really, really, really appreciate it if you are new to the channel. And get your questions in, get your comments in. I'm going to stay on for a little bit. Obviously, for those joining late, the breaking news is that Jurrien Timber is out with an ACL injury, which is bad news for him, bad news for the club, and bad news for everybody involved. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what the club do now. No, because they haven't got their really special Champions League, which would make it more interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't watch the Saudi Pro League. I literally wouldn't watch it. But yeah, listen, it is what it is. And, you know, money talks, doesn't it? Money talks. If you throw enough money at something, you're going to convince a few people. Well, just look at Chelsea. They're throwing money left, right, and centre. You know, Chelsea are just throwing money at players left, right, and centre. I mean, eventually Chelsea are just going to crash and burn, which when that happens, it's going to be absolutely hilarious and it's going to be really funny to see. It's going to be mad. It's going to be crazy. Listen, we live in a crazy world, and I tell you what, football is in a very strange place right now. It's in a very I don't know. We live in an era of football where money just seems to do the talking more than the football. I guess it's the same for all sports, isn't it? You know, money talks. You see it in golf, boxing. You just see it all over the world. Money talks in everything. And on that note, I'm going to wrap this stream up. Listen, guys, it's been a pleasure coming on, talking to you all. Listen, I'll be back on tomorrow with my preview for the Crystal Palace game. I'll be back on at 6 p.m. tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Do hit the like button on the way out. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, as well, guys, I'm going to be launching my podcast channel very soon with remember I said I was doing the free channel thing, this Arsenal content channel and football content, then the podcast channel, and then the other the travel channels. Well, the podcast channel is coming very soon. I'm just putting things in motion for that, getting everything ready, and yeah, I've got a launch date, and when that comes, when it's set up very, very shortly, I will share the link with you, and I'd appreciate you if you will go over and subscribe. Would really, really appreciate it. Listen, guys, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Take care. See you tomorrow. Come on, you Gunners.